The Maharashtra Public Service Commission Rajyaseva Preliminary Examination 2025 is about to be conducted on the last Sunday of the September month, that is 28th September 2025. As we are aware, the preparation of our examination, the previous year question papers play a very crucial role into the aspect of our preparations. As you are aware, in the past few weeks, we have done the question paper analysis of previous year question papers of year 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. But those were in Marathi. But every one of you were requesting for the same series into the English language. So we are with the new videos. Hi, hello everyone. I am Akshay Thakur and I welcome you to this new series into our Ekagra Academy YouTube channel. Let's have a look in the first our 2021 question paper of this Rajyaseva preliminary examinations. The questions asked were between the question number 71 to question number 85. The 15 questions were asked about the polity question. The first question that is asked in the polity section was the Constitution's 105th Amendment Act 2021 related to the socially and economically backward classes that we all know, that is SEBC as we say, amends how many articles of Indian Constitution? That was the question asked, and we all know the answer was 3. 3 articles were amended. The first article was Article 338B, second was 342A, and third one was Article 366. The 338B article deals with the National Commission for Backward Classes. As we all know, it is known as NCBC. We modified the clause 9 to align with the restored state powers. Article 342A, the article concerns the President's power to notify the list of socially and economically backward classes, to whom we call SEBC, modifies clause 1 and 2 and added clause 3, which allows states and union territories to prepare and maintain the own list of SEBCs. And Article 366, that is the third article modified, that contains definitions for various terms used in Constitution. The amendments updated the definition of socially and economically backward classes to reflect the changes made to Article 342A. These were the 3 articles that were modified, so the right answer was 3. Next question we have is, which of the following statement is correct with respect to the right of exploitation? The prohibition of trafficking in human beings and forced labor, freedom as to payment of taxes and the promotion of any particular religion, protection of interest of minorities or equality before law. And the right answer is prohibition of trafficking in human beings and forced labor. Let's have a look in the detailed explanation. The right against exploitation is a fundamental right enshrined in the Indian Constitution primarily under Article 23 and 24. Article 23 specifically prohibits trafficking in human beings, which includes practices like slavery, bonded labor, and selling and buying of individuals, and all forms of forced labor like beggar or any other form of involuntary service without the remuneration. The Article 24 prohibits the employment of children below the age 14 in factories, mines, or any other hazardous employment. The other options that were given here are very important because we have seen the questions from the next years have been asked from the other options that were given in the question previous year. The second option, the freedom as to payment of taxes and promotion of any particular religion, relates to the right to freedom of religion that was given Article 25 to 28. Protection of interest of minorities relates to cultural and educational rights, that is Article 29 to 30. And equality before law relates to the right to equality, Article 14 to Article 18. The next question, who among the following is not directly participating in the election of president? Always remember, mark your the sign what is asked. If it is the right one is asked, then mark the right one. If the wrong one is asked, mark it as the wrong one asked. The elected members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the elected members of legislative assemblies of the state, the elected members of legislative assemblies of union territories of Delhi and Puducherry, both elected and nominated members of legislative councils, and it has been asked who do not directly participate in the election of president. So the right answer is D, both elected and nominated members of the state legislative councils, because as we all know, members of legislative councils, whether elected or whether nominated, do not play or do not participate or cannot participate in the presidential elections. So the right answer is D, which is given in the option number 3. The detailed explanation is given here. Neither the elected nor the nominated members of the state legislative councils participate in the election of president. Next question you ask, the consider the following statements regarding district judges. We have been asked on the district judges. The two statements have been given. The appointment of the district judges is made by Chief Justice of High Court, or the Chief Minister has the authority to transfer the district judges. Which of the statement given is correct has been asked. So both the statements are wrong. So neither A, neither B, both the statements are wrong. No statement is correct. Let's have a look why both the statements are incorrect. Statement A claims that the appointment of district judges is made by Chief Justice of High Court, but according to Article 233 of the Indian Constitution, the appointments, postings, and promotions of district judges in any state are made by the governor of that state. Remember, not the Chief Justice of High Court, but the governor of that particular High Court, the governor of that particular state do this. And the statement B claims that the chief minister has the authority to transfer the district judge. Similar to appointments, the transfer of district judges is also handled by the governor in consultation with the High Court and not the chief minister. So both the statements are incorrect. So the right answer is option 4, neither A nor B. The next question that is asked, match the following pairs with list A and list B. List A has been given as some important topics in our constitution, and list B has been given as some countries that are existing, and which of the following part of the constitution has been inspired from which of the country has been asked. So let's have a look. Single citizenship has been taken from United Kingdom. Straight line goes. Judicial review, again the USA straight line. Directive principle of state policy, as we famously know as DPSP, has been taken from Ireland, and concurrent list in union state relation has been taken from Australian constitution. So all the answers are very straight line answers. Nothing has to do with the pairing of any list A and list B. So the right straightforward answer is A1, B2, C3, and D4. So right option is option 1. When was the word armed rebellion added to the constitution to declare a national emergency? And the right answer is by 44th Constitution Amendment Act. As we all know, the national emergency was declared by the 42nd Amendment, and the 42nd Amendment did so many such wrongful things, and it used the word as many kind to use the to proclaim the national emergency on the country. So that's why the armed rebellion term was added by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act that was provided in the 1975 emergency, which was declared sitting internal disturbance and not the armed rebellion. So that's why the internal disturbance word was cancelled and armed rebellion word was added by the 44th Constitution Amendment Act, and the national emergency could be declared in situations involving a clear and present threat of armed rebellion and not vague grounds that could be subject to the political manipulation that was declared. The next question asked is consider the following statements and the which of the correct has been asked. So let's mark it as correct. Let's see, three statements have been given. The president may return an ordinary bill for reconsideration of the parliament. The president may return the money bill for reconsideration of parliament. C. If an ordinary bill is passed again by the parliament, the president must give his assent to the bill. Three statements have been, and which of the correct has been asked. So the right answer is A statement is right, C statement is right. So A and C is option number 3, A and C. Let's have a look why B is wrong. B is wrong because the president may return the money bill has been given, and as we all know, the president may return the money bill for reconsideration of parliament. No, this statement is incorrect because the president cannot return a money bill for reconsideration. The president can either give assent for a money bill or withhold assent, but cannot send it back to the parliament for the reconsideration. So that's why the statement B stands incorrect. That's why the right answer is option 3, A and C. Let's have a look at next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, whom we called as CAG. And the correct statements has been asked, so let's mark correct here. First statement, he is appointed by the President of India. Second statement, his salary and other service conditions are determined by Parliament. C, he can be removed by Prime Minister anytime. And D, he acts as a guide friend and philosopher of the Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament. Four statements have been given, and which of the correct has been asked. So A is correct, B is correct, and D is correct. C is wrong because CAG, it has been said that removed by the Prime Minister at any time. No, CAG cannot be removed by Prime Minister at any time. Neither President can remove the CAG. The CAG can be only removed by not the Prime Minister, not even President. CAG can be only removed by from office by President on the basis of a resolution passed by both houses of Parliament with a special majority similar to the removal of a Supreme Court judge. So that's why this statement stands incorrect, and the right answer is option 2, A, B, and D. Next question, consider the following statements and correct has been asked. So let's mark correct here. So that's why we do not fail into confusion that what was asked correct or incorrect, false or true or whatever. Legislative Council is a permanent chamber. The governor is the ex officio chairman of Legislative Council. And C, except few nominated members, the members of Legislative Council are indirectly elected. The correct statement has been asked out of these three. So the A statement is correct, C statement is correct. Why B is incorrect? Let's have a look. The statement B claims that the governor is the ex officio chairman of the Legislative Council, but remember this statement is incorrect. Why? Because the chairman of the Legislative Council is elected by the members of the state Legislative Council from among them, from the member themselves, among themselves, but not the governor. Not even governor choosing, or not even the governor is the ex officio chairman of that state legislative council. So that's why the statement B stands incorrect, and the correct answer is A and C, option number 3. Next question is, the Jammu and Kashmir State Human Rights Commission ceased to exist from which date? So the right answer is 31st December 2019. This was the date when Jammu and Kashmir State Human Rights Commission ceased to exist. Why this Human Rights Commission was ceased to exist? Because the Jammu and Kashmir State Human Rights Commission with several other state commissions ceased to exist on the date 31st October 2019. This date marked the appointed date of the reorganization of the state into Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh following the abrogation of Article 370, and that's why the jurisdiction of the Central National Human Rights Commission was extended to these new Union Territories, and the State Human Rights Commission ceased to be exist. That's why the 31st October 2019 is the right answer. According to the 74th Amendment Act 1992 of the Indian Constitution, there are how many types of municipalities in urban India? So there are 3 types of urban municipalities in India. Which are they? Let's have a look. First one is Nagar Panchayat, second one is Municipal Council, and third one is Municipal Corporation, or as we call as Mahanagar Nigam or Mahanagar Palika. Nagar Panchayat for a transitional area, which is an area in transition from rural area to urban area. Municipal Council, the second type, is for a smaller urban area. And the third type, Municipal Corporation, as we call Mahanagar Palika in Marathi or Mahanagar Nigam in Hindi, is for a larger size of urban areas. And these are the 3 types of urban municipalities that exist in India by the 74th Amendment Act of 1992. Let's have a look at next question. Maharashtra Legislative Council completed its 50 years of existence in which year? So many of the students did the mistake that Maharashtra was established in the year 1960. So 1960 plus 50, so 2010 might be right answer. So many of the students mark this 2010 as the right answer, but no, 2010 is wrong answer, because the Legislative Council of Maharashtra existing from 1937, and it is existing from 1937. That's why the right answer is 1987, the 50 years. Why 1937? Because the 1937 elections establishes upper chamber, that is Legislative Councils, by and which was established by the Government of India Act 1935, and by this act in the year 1937 this Legislative Council was established, and it happened to complete the 50 years in the year 1987, and that's why the 2010 answer is to be wrong, and third option 1987 is the right answer. Forms of oath or affirmations are included in which schedule of the Indian Constitution? And the right answer is third schedule of Indian Constitution. What is oaths and affirmation? The forms of oath and affirmations are included in the third schedule of Indian Constitution. This schedule contains the forms of oath or affirmations for various constitutional posts, including union ministers, candidates for parliament and state legislature elections, members of parliament, Supreme Court judges, and others. This is what the forms of oath and affirmations provide into the Indian Constitution in the Schedule 3. When was the Communist Party of India, the Marxist, that is we call as CPIM, was formed in which year? The right answer is 1964. CPIM, as we call the Communist Party of India, Marxist. The Communist Party of India, in bracket Marxwadi, as we call in Marathi or Hindi. It was formed in 1964. How it was formed? The Communist Party of India, Marxist, or as we call CPIM, emerged from a split within the Communist Party of India, that is CPI, in the year 1964 at the 7th Congress they held in the Calcutta, which was conducted between October 31 to November 7 in the year 1964, and this was the Congress where the CPI got split and the CPIM got established in the year 1964. Let's have a look at the last question of the polity section. Consider the following statements regarding the Speaker of Lok Sabha. So the question is about Speaker of Lok Sabha, and what is asked? The correct statements have been asked, so let's mark the correct here. He holds office during the pleasure of the President. He need not to be member of the House at the time of his election. And C, he presides over a joint sitting of the two houses. Which of the correct? As we all know, only the statement C is correct. Why? Because he presides over a joint sitting of house is the right answer. But why first of the two statements are wrong? He holds office during the pleasure of the President. This statement is incorrect because the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is elected by the Lok Sabha members and can be removed by the resolution passed by the majority of the Lok Sabha members and not at the pleasure of the President. So that's why this statement is wrong. Statement B, he need not to be member of the House at the time of his election. This statement is also incorrect because a person must be member of the Lok Sabha. That only by that the Lok Sabha members can elect him as the Lok Sabha Speaker. And the option C, he presides over a joint sitting of two houses of Parliament. That statement is correct. Under the section 118(4), whenever the deadlock happens for any kind of bill between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the joint sitting is conducted and Lok Sabha Speaker presides over this joint sitting, and by so far since our independence 3 times such kind of joint sitting have been conducted and the Lok Sabha Speaker have always presided over the joint sitting. So the only option correct is option statement C. The statement C is given in the option 3. That's why option 3 is the correct answer. Thank you. That's all for today. We have a look at the 2021 previous year question paper. In the next video of ours, we will have a analysis of 2022, then 2023, and lastly the 2024 question paper of the polity section of preliminary Rajyaseva exams. Thank you.